Namaste and hi friends, it's Parvati here with Visionary Veda, bringing you your February 2023 full moon, Vedic full moon report. In this report, I will go over the energies at play for this beautiful and illustrious and nurturing full moon happening in the sidereal sign of Cancer in the nakshatra of Ashlesha, Ashlesha Nakshatra. As well as I'm going to cover a little bit about the other planetary energies that are going to be felt for the rest of the month of February, namely the planet Saturn that has just changed signs from sidereal Capricorn to Aquarius, as well as the planet Venus, which is going to change signs from Aquarius into its exaltation sign of Pisces, where it will meet the wonderful planet Jupiter that's been sitting in Pisces for almost the last year. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, this full moon is an amazing, beautiful and nourishing full moon. It is happening in the sidereal sign of Cancer, which is the sign that the moon itself lords or rules. It's going to be happening in this what we call a Gandanta Nakshatra. Now, as you know, the nakshatras are the fixed stars of the zodiac, of which the moon travels around and visits one per day. Ashlesha Nakshatra is known as a Gandanta Nakshatra because also I've spoken about this in my past videos. Gandanta is when we are at the end of a water sign and the beginning of a fire sign. These are very unstable points in the zodiac. Because as you know, when fire and water come together, they don't mix. So when a planet comes across this Gandanta point, it can mean that something is brought up. It can be brought up in a rather shocking way or a surprising way. And it will usually result in, they say, some karmic knots coming apart or being unraveled, and in other places they describe it as that planet drowning. Now, we're talking about the moon here, right? And the moon rules the water. The moon is in the watery sign of Cancer. So while it's in Ashlesha and crossing the Gandanta, it can, I feel, give us insights. It's an illuminated moon. Remember that. It's a full moon. It's fully lit. So if we are aware enough during this full moon time, we are going to be able to see places within us that maybe have been hidden or in our subconscious, or affect emotions that used to affect us in a way that weren't the healthiest. And we can see from a more distant perspective, from an illuminated perspective, what these qualities are and be able to transform them. Now, why do I say that we are able to transform them in this full moon? Because it's happening in Ashlesha Nakshatra. Now, traditionally, this full moon is known as Magha Purnima, and the moon will move into Magha Nakshatra later on in the day, which is the first nakshatra of the sign Leo. But because it's happening in Ashlesha, the symbolism, or the deities actually, that lord this nakshatra are known as the Nagas. Now, the Nagas are a certain type of highly elevated celestial serpents. And what do serpents do? Serpents have the ability to shed their skin, to renew themselves, to be able to transform, right? Ashlesha has this characteristic of also, I think it's, well, I know it's known as the entwiner or the embracer. Like, think about a python and how it can just wrap around you and constrict you, right? And entwine you and mesh you. So depending on your level of awareness or how you're coming and digesting these energies, it can feel to certain people like their emotions have ensnared them. And because the Gandanta point is known as a point of drowning, if you're not aware, or if you're not working to, if you're not doing spiritual practices, basically, this is why all of us as astrologers are always talking about how important it is to be having a spiritual practice, because otherwise, if we're not cultivating this, we're just victims, not victims, but we're left to the whim of these celestial energies. Whereas when we're cultivating our awareness, we actually have that space to be able to see these energies, feel these energies, and yet be a little bit detached from them. Ashlesha is especially a good nakshatra for this because it is intense, or it can be intense, depending on how you are experiencing it, right? So if you're not cultivating a certain sense of awareness, you can feel like you're being swallowed by your emotions, by your subconscious, by old patterns, and you can feel like you're drowning. But if you are doing some work, you can utilize this energy of the serpent or the naga into shedding your skin, into like changing, into transforming these energies. And if you've really been doing it for a long time, practicing for a long time, then you can actually harness this energy of the snakes, of the nagas, of the serpents, that is Ashlesha, and almost utilize it as if it's, for example, like a kundalini energy, right? The kundalini is also a serpent. But what does that do? That completely elevates you into a higher realm, a higher place of knowledge, of awareness of your mind, right? Again, the moon symbolizes the mind, the moon symbolizes the emotions, the moon symbolizes the mother, our mothers. It symbolizes our home, where we can feel secure, where we can feel at peace. So all of these significations can be coming up during this full moon. And all of those levels of the serpent can be felt depending on how we've cultivated our awareness up until this point. So it's a very profound, powerful full moon. Make the best use of these energies. The planetary ruler of Ashlesha Nakshatra is Mercury. Now, Mercury is the intellect, whereas the moon is more the mind, right? So because Mercury is the planetary ruler of this nakshatra, we can use the intellect in the moon's full illumination to be able to see and take some distance from those really potent emotions, right? So we can use our intellect to process these emotions. It could be good to journal, right? Mercury. It could be also good to share with somebody that you feel safe with how you feel about them. Express your love to them. It's a good moon to see how you can take care of yourself so you do feel more safe and secure and at peace in the world. So it's a beautiful full moon, and I hope that each and every one of you takes the fullest advantage of the energies at play today, February 5th. So that being said, I wanted to touch a little bit upon the other powerful and potent energies that are happening this month. Now, Saturn the slowest moving planet, and again, in Vedic astrology, we don't take the outer planets. The outermost planet in the Vedic system is Saturn. That's not to say that Uranus, Neptune, Pluto don't have an effect, but they're not as personal planets as the first five, right, inside, and the moon and the sun. So I should say the seven. I should say the nine, actually, but basically you understand what I'm saying. So Saturn takes 2.5 to 3 years to move from one sign to another. It stays in one sign for that long. And since 2020 in January, Saturn has been in Capricorn. And Capricorn is when a lot of our karmic muck comes up for us to sort through and clear out and learn from. And I don't have to tell you what happened in January 2020 and what we've been dealing with for the past 3 years, but I am happy to tell you now that Saturn's moved into the sign of Aquarius, we're going to have a great deal of relief from that. So during Saturn's stay in Aquarius, you can expect there to be a lot of innovation. You see, Saturn is there for the betterment of all of the people. It rules the masses. It rules democracy. It's not an individualistic planet like the sun, right? The sun is the king. The sun is all about itself, whereas Saturn, which opposes the sun, which is furthest from the sun, is all about the people. So we're taking all that fodder, all that muck that we've worked through for the past 3 years, and from that, building something new. So just get ready to see new innovations in technology, in the welfare of the people, of social welfare, social justice, medicine, healing. So many new and exciting things are awaiting us over this next 2.5 years. But as of right now, Saturn's only just changed signs, and Sun is closely following it. So Sun, even though it's still in Capricorn, is going to move into Aquarius on the 15th of February. And as of right now, it's close enough to Saturn to where Saturn is now combust. So whenever a planet is combust, it has difficulty lending its energies and relaying its power. It's okay, because when the sun combusts Saturn, Saturn is going to go through a purification process. So it's a slow-moving planet. It shows its effects slowly. It only just moves signs, so now it's going to get purified through the sun crossing over it. And then once the sun passes it, we're going to start to feel and see the full effects of Saturn in Aquarius, which is it's in Vedic astrology is called Mul Trikon or Mula Trikona sign, or as what's commonly known as its office. It's where a planet goes to get its work done. So we're going to see a lot of good things coming out of this planetary movement into the sign of Aquarius of Saturn. And then also in February, the middle of February, February 15th, right now Venus is sitting with Saturn in Aquarius, and Venus is going to move into the sign of Pisces, which is its exaltation sign. So this is the sign where Venus can shine her brightest. It's going to meet with Jupiter, which is the ruler of this sign. So Jupiter there with Venus, two gurus, two great divine teachers in the same sign. There might be a little bit of conflict between the spiritual part of you and the material part of you, but there needn't be. There doesn't have to be. take advantage of this transit of Venus. Venus signifies not only things of a cosmetic nature. So if you want to get anything done, you want to get a new haircut, you want to get some, a makeover or get some new clothes, then it's the perfect time to do it. It's also the perfect time if you're in the market for a new vehicle, because Venus rules vehicles, or redesigning your house, your office, or restructuring your finances, because Venus rules finances. So that will happen February 15th, and Venus will stay in the sign of Pisces for several weeks. And that reminds me, I forgot to mention about the full moon, that another reason that this full moon is so powerful and healing and will give us the ability to transform our emotions is not only because it's in Ashlesha and it's got that transformational energy, that medicinal energy, right? Because the snakes have venom, which can be turned into medicine. But we also have Jupiter giving its fifth aspect to Cancer from Pisces, right? Jupiter aspects 5 places and 9 places from itself. So Jupiter has been aspecting Cancer and Scorpio for the since last year, since last April, since it moved into Pisces. So with that Jupiter aspect, not only does it help the intellect, it does help the, I'm just like, it helps the intellect by lending its wisdom, its great wisdom teachings. So again, very powerful full moon, and also going to be a very powerful second half of February with Venus joining that Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is the guru or the teacher of high spiritual wisdom and knowledge, and it's in its own sign of the divine. And Venus joins as well, right? So relationships, wisdom can come into relationships. You can meet people who can be companions on your path of spiritual growth. You can also get insights in your dreams. You can maybe see, if you do any kind of design or if you're any kind of an artist, you can probably get inspirations and insights in your dreams as well, because Pisces is the 12th sign and in the 12th house of dreams and intuitive knowledge and miracles, like really blessed, higher miracles, higher relations, higher inspirations of a loving, nurturing, caring kind. So that is my report for this full moon happening February 5th, 2023. If you would like a reading with me, please send me an email at visionaryveda@gmail.com, or you can visit my website, which is visionaryveda.com, or visit my Facebook page, which is, take a guess, Visionary Veda. And thank you so much, my friends. I wish you all a beautiful, nurturing, loving, illuminating, transformative full moon in the sign of Cancer. May you all be happy and well, and of course, as always, enjoy the life. Until next time, take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.